So, welcome back to our Pro Cycling Manager 25 career mode. So far this season, our strategy has been pretty straightforward, sending Ivan Romeo, our best rider, our GC rider, to stage races that don't have the best competition to make sure he can compete. For example, the Santos Tour Under, which is still a World Tour race and has a time trial, so really fit Romeo. And as a consequence, he won the time trial and the GC. We tried exactly the same at Valenciana and Andalusia, and we won both time trials, but in Valenciana, Pogacar showed up, and in Andalusia, we crashed. Despite that, I do think the strategy is working, so I think that's how we'll continue the season. As a World Tour team, our team is also required to ride the big one-week races like Paris-Nice or Tirreno Adriatico, which means that Ivan Romeo is not at these races. And because we're basically sending a B team to these races, I decided to ride them off camera. But the outcome of these two races is a disaster for the team. I was only able to score one podium across both races at stage 3 of Tirreno, but that's not that big of a deal. The actual problem is this. Somehow, Markel Bellocchi, Matthias Kopecky, and Matthias Schwarzbacher all got injured. Markel Bellocchi has a broken rib, Matthias Kopecky has a broken wrist, and Matthias Schwarzbacher has a fracture, which that could literally be any body part. But as you can see from my planning page, losing Matthias Kopecky and Schwarzbacher at this point in the season, at the start of the classic season, is a terrible outcome because they're my two classic riders. We can basically cross out any ambitions we had for the classics because it ain't happening this year. Anyway, time to focus on today's races. Today I want to finish off March of the season, so Sanremo and Catalunya, which that should be fun. And actually, Milano-Sanremo is the first monument our team has ever done, also the first monument of this season, and I was not planning to send Ivan Romeo to this race, but considering all the injuries, I've got no choice. He's got the climbing stats to get over the Cipressa and the Poggio, but not exactly the sprint for the finish. Meanwhile, Serrano has a bit of a sprint, but not as much the climbing to get over the climbs in the first place. Either way, we are nowhere near the favorites. Jonathan Milan, Wout van Aert, Warenskjold, Tibor Del Grosso, a long list of better riders. But Milano-Sanremo on PCM is a bit of a special race, so I feel like a miraculous result might be possible here. Okay, starting off with a race day condition of 0 on Romeo, so 75 hill stat, 69 sprint stat. Meanwhile, Javier Serrano, 73 hill stat and 74 sprint, so let's hope we can work with that. If at any point during your life you feel lonely or bored, think about poor old Alberto Brutomese. My man is on a solo breakaway in Milano-Sanremo. That is 6 hours plus in the breakaway. That is crazy. Anyway, I've never seen a breakaway win this race on PCM, so I see no point in joining Brutomese in that breakaway. That said, I do want to take a second to talk about my upload schedule of this series, this career mode on this channel, because 2 videos in 6 weeks, that's been poor. Considering the real life cycling season has basically come to an end, I should have more time to make these videos at least once weekly for this off season. So let's get back into it. The race is entering the last 75 kilometers, and as you can see, there's actually more than one rider up the road now. 7 in total, 6 left because 1 just dropped, and it's not exactly terrible riders, Lascano and so forth, but they do seem to be out of energy. But in the peloton, because of that move, the tempo has gone up so significantly that I've got basically 1.5 riders with energy. Romeo's my last man standing. That said, we do have a descent to recover, so that's gotta be necessary. But it's fair to say this race has been a lot harder than I expected. Anyway, 35 kilometers to go, so the Cipressa is coming. We've got Romeo in a good position, and the 9-man front group now is about to get caught by the peloton paced by Bajoli. I'm just sitting in for now. I need to get over the Cipressa first. Okay, Romeo made it over the Cipressa, but we're not exactly looking that good when it comes to our team, but as long as we've got Romeo, we're good. Omerzel is doing a fantastic job getting Romeo to the foot, 4 kilometers, 3.9%, and the Poggio is here. We've got Romeo now in second position in the peloton. First position now, we've got Leknesund next to us. Do I attack on the Poggio? I think I do. I think I have to, so there we go. There goes Ivan Romeo on the Poggio with the attack. We've got 4 seconds on Narvaez, Wout van Aert, Vacek and so forth, but lots of riders in our wheel, so that attack is not going anywhere, and I feel like we're actually going to get dropped here by a few riders, so let's get into the wheel of, I don't know, maybe the J-Core rider, Luke Plapp. Is that an option? Let's hope it is, but we don't have red energy, so this is all not going very well. There goes Van Aert again. Let's go into the wheel of Narvaez right now. Why not? Over the top. Can we recover some red bar for a sprint? That is the question, but Wout van Aert is looking pretty fantastic at the moment. I'm trying to follow the wheel of Wout van Aert as the Poggio descent is ending, but holy crap, there comes the train of Uno X, and I feel like I've got the wrong wheel. There comes the sprint in the wheel of Wout van Aert, and we've got Rasmus Tiller launching. We're launching at the moment as well, but is Rasmus Tiller gonna win Milano-Sanremo? Is Rasmus Tiller gonna win Rasmus Tiller won Milano-Sanremo. I cannot believe this. So, finishing 14th with Ivan Romeo, that was not the miraculous result I was hoping for, but what a shock winner. Rasmus Tiller. One day, Milano-Sanremo is a race I do want to win with Sirocco for Endurance, but yeah, this was not the year. Today's video is sponsored by Zwift, the go-to training app for indoor cycling. Winter is coming, so the days are getting shorter and colder. The perfect time to hop on your indoor cycling setup and check out Zwift. Whether you want to take on a workout, challenge yourself by climbing a mountain, or race against people on your level, Zwift is the place to be. And if you want to try out Zwift but you don't have an indoor cycling setup yet, you're lucky. You can now get 10% off a Zwift ride with Kicker Core 2 through the link in the description. Anyway, check it out. But I feel like Ivan Romeo can do a little bit better in our next race. The Volta Ciclista Catalunya, a 7-day stage race in Catalunya with a 21-kilometer flat time trial. So, can Romeo keep it up? Can he once again win a time trial? But I do think GC in this race will be quite difficult, not necessarily because of stage 3, but stage 4 is a proper mountain stage. And riders like Primoz Roglic are simply better than Romeo. By the way, I also brought Juri Leitao, but this fast stage is already a stage that is too hard for him, so I think this is Romeo or Serrano territory. Leitao's already not a great climber, but he's also got a bit of a sniffle, so he's basically sick. Great start.
12 seconds later.
And our man Leitao is off the back in the middle of the stage. Oh, crashed by a big man. Primoz Roglic is on the floor, so should I try to use this to my advantage? Of course, my answer is undoubtedly yes. There comes Sirocco for Endurance, pacing in the peloton. The gap is only a minute, so it's not exactly super large, but I am shocked that they pulled back Florian Lipovic to help out Primoz Roglic here. Oh, with about 16k to go, the gap is flirting with about 1 minute 30, so it's still quite large, but they're still with lots of riders there. I'm trying my absolute best to keep this tempo going too. Come on, guys. I think Bora's starting to struggle. I genuinely think that Bora is struggling here. We've got our team also struggling, but that's not that big of a deal. I've got Romeo and Serrano in the wheel of the little trek train here, trying my absolute best to also be competitive in the upcoming sprint because it's only 6k to go. There we go, perfect train by Little Trek for Quinn Simmons, so not exactly the fastest sprinter. We've got Serrano in the wheel of that. Come on, boys. We've got a gap on the peloton. That is awesome. Romeo is ready to launch a sprint lead out as we speak. Right now, we've got Serrano in the wheel for a perfect stage victory. A perfect potential stage victory. Quinn Simmons on the right, Serrano on the left. Come on, Javier. Come on, Javier. No, it's going to be a second place, but a third place for Romeo, which means bonus seconds in GC, so that is perfection. Well, no, perfection would have been the stage win, but I'm happy with this. And thanks to my sportsmanlike racing, Primoz Roglic did not make it back to the peloton. Yes, gotta say, I was hoping to compete for the stage, but getting second and third and extra seconds on nearly everybody is a perfect outcome. Oi, 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 Primoz Roglic, 1 minute 41 behind the friend of the race. That's a massive gap. And we're not just taking time on Roglic, we're also taking time on basically everybody. So that's a fantastic stage. But next up is what our boy is good at. A 21-kilometer flat time trial. Looks like Matthias Kjelmose is the favorite, but I truly believe that Ivan Romeo can win this. His 4th time trial win of the year, that would be. So yeah, let's bring this home. So, Ivan Romeo is about to start his time trial, and Javan is currently in the lead of this time trial by 12 seconds on Lipovic. Here we go. Our man is on the road, the Spanish champion, +1 on the day, so 77 time trial. I'm starting off on 85 because it's actually it looks like a flat parkour, but there's quite a bit of climbing in it and quite a bit of descending, so micromanagement in this time trial will be important. For example, on this uphill section, I'm going to up myself to 87 and try to spend a bit of my red energy. Back to 85, first time check is right here, and 9th place on 15 seconds. Ouch! That is a lot worse than I expected. Let's take a look at the second time check, and we get second now on 9 seconds, so we're getting better. But I think I'm gonna struggle here at the finish line to beat Jay Vine. Let's take a look, and we get second place on 2 seconds! Oh, I can't believe it. Ivan Romeo has lost his time trial magic. We've lost the time trial. To be fair, second place is actually still really good for Ivan Romeo, but I really wanted to win another time trial because it would have been such a good run. Either way, as a consequence, Ivan Romeo is now the new leader of the Volta Ciclista a Catalunya by 30 seconds on Jay Vine, so that's a pretty large gap. And actually, P7 Joao Almeida is already on more than a minute, and P11 Rainer Keplinger on 1:30. Meanwhile, Primoz Roglic on 2 minutes and 9 seconds. Sure, I'd rather win a stage than finishing second place twice, but 30 seconds ahead in GC after 2 stages is perfection. But on the next 2 mountain stages, a lead of 30 seconds is basically nothing. This one right here is only 1 climb, which that's maybe doable. Primoz Roglic is the favorite though, so we'll just try to survive. 74 mountain stat on Romeo. This climb will be difficult. A pretty solid start though, a +1 on Romeo, so 76 mountain stat on the day. That's better. We're now in the last 20 kilometers and the climb is not exactly started yet, but the gradient is gradually going up already. The breakaway is 4 riders with 40 seconds, so they are doomed. Then we're actually sitting quite well when it comes to our position, spending a bit of our yellow bar, but I'm trying to keep it for the end. Oh, the climb is now properly starting and my position is not exactly perfect. I've upped my effort to 83 to try and move up a little bit, but I keep getting blocked by riders left and right, so this is far from perfect. Samuel Fernandez is done for, so it's time for Tercero to take over, but the tempo at the front is really high, so I'm terrified. Ivan Romeo is bleeding positions and bleeding energy. 7 kilometers to go and this is looking really bad. 4.5 kilometers to go, I've got nothing when it comes to my energy, like 10% of my yellow left. Is that a fast attack? We've got Soler now pacing for Almeida, but I'm still in the group. Pericaz is also done for, so I've got 0 teammates. Let's up it to 85 and try and stick in the draft, but I'm losing so much energy, so this is a disaster. We are losing the jersey here, I think. Passing riders by riders in the last 2 kilometers, but we are gapped. We are incredibly gapped at the moment, and our yellow bar is gone. Our red bar is melting. And at the front of the race, we've got a sprint between like 10 riders that is looking like it's gonna be Nordhagen versus Almeida. Jorgen Nordhagen wins, and we run completely out of energy with less than a kilometer to go, so we are losing the jersey. I'll be honest, with the gap that we had, I was hoping for more, but it physically was not possible. 19th in the end. Matthias Kjelmose is the new leader of this race by 1 second on Darren Rafferty. But our man Ivan Romeo is now 7th on 57 seconds, but even keeping that top 10 will be difficult. Because, well, I expect Lipovic, Roglic and so forth to pass me in GC. Especially with this monstrosity of a stage 4. Porene, a massive climb at the finish with Primoz Roglic as the favorite, but Ivan Romeo is gonna get slaughtered here. I am wondering, is there a world in which I can maybe go in the breakaway with Ivan Romeo and go for KOM points? That's what I'm trying here. Leitao is doing a very odd lead out into the breakaway, so that did not exactly go as planned. But it does look like there's a breakaway of 9 riders now with Romeo in it, so this might work. And also a chasing group of 11 riders, so a break of 20 riders, that's pretty big. In the peloton, Little Trek is not exactly happy with this breakaway, but good luck catching it. Ivan Romeo is subtly gonna try and take the intermediate sprint points here for the green jersey, just in case. And actually, we're first in that ranking by 3 points now, so that's good. 20 kilometers into the breakaway and Trek is still pacing like crazy, but the gap is up to 1 minute 40 now, so that's great, but actually, they're in the breakaway themselves with Lopez. That's a bit of an odd strategy. Anyway, the fast climb is starting, and unsurprisingly, Leitao is off the back of the breakaway, but he did do a fantastic job. Meanwhile, Romeo is still in this breakaway, 4 minutes 20 on the peloton, so a solid gap. But now it's time to secure the KOM points. There we go, 2 kilometers to go. Romeo is ready for the sprint, 1.5. 1.4, not yet, not yet, not yet. We've got launchings on the left. I'll launch myself as well, and now 99 because it's basically a flat sprint. We've got just enough energy to finish, I think, second. Actually, never mind. Third place for Romeo, so 6 points. Not great, not terrible. Once again, we've got a bit of an intermediate sprint, so Romeo goes to the front to take some free points, and we've got Hirschi trying to outsprint us, and he's going to get second. So take the L, Hirschi, take the L. Anyway, the second climb has begun, a pretty big one, out of category, so 25 points available at the top, and the tempo in this group is going up significantly, so I gotta make sure I can follow. 1 minute 25 on the peloton only, so hopefully the break makes it to the KOM points. Midway the climb and I'm caught behind the split, so this is far from perfect, but it's still 15k to go towards the top, so maybe I can save it. There we go, there we go, there we go, and Romeo has closed the gap, but I'm almost out of energy, so group, please slow down. Rider by rider, people are dropping from this breakaway. I've got some yellow left though, but it's still 4 kilometers to go towards the KOM point, but the tempo in the group is now completely gone, so I hope it stays that way. There we go, there we go. 2 kilometers to go towards the KOM point. I need to get any points here. I don't even care about getting fast. I just need some points here. Let's do 90 right now. Let's do 99. Come on, Romeo. Come on, Romeo. Let's fight. We're not going to win this. We're not going to win this. Let's finish top 5 somewhere. Maybe 4th? Yes, 4th place, so 14 points. And Romeo is now 5th in the KOM, standing on just 6 points of Nordhagen, so we're kind of in the running. 27 kilometers to go now in the descent towards the final climb, with Romeo on 28 effort to try and recover all my yellow bar, and it's kind of working with a gap of 2 minutes on the peloton, so I think the peloton wins, to be honest. Here we go, the final climb is starting, and are those attacks from the peloton? Yes, indeed. Yates, Kjelmose, Yates. 2 Yates in that attack. They're all attacking from the peloton with 19 kilometers to go before the final climb even started for the peloton. So that is curious. The breakaways gap is now down to 35 seconds only to that group, and they're about to catch up. So we're literally getting caught as we speak. There comes an attack by Riccitello from the breakaway. We've got Yates and so forth in this group. Lopez now pacing. Satellite rider up the road for Kjelmose. So him being up the road actually ended up being good for Kjelmose. I'm just sitting in for now. I'm gonna try and play this relaxed. Come on, Romeo, 10 kilometers to go. Energy is not looking too great, I'll be honest about that, but I'm still in the group. Even more attacks at the front of this group, and I'm almost the next victim because my yellow bar is basically gone, so I gotta do my own tempo now to the finish, but it won't be a good result. Quite a surprising outcome, but basically a bit of a sprint at the top of Porene here with Butrago, Vine, Roglic. It's gonna be Santi Butrago taking it. We are still with a kilometer to go, and we're not exactly passing people, so I reckon maybe top 30? I just wanted to keep fighting for GC just in case we could clutch a top 10 in GC here, but I don't think that happened. 24th at the end of the day, and also 13th in GC, so not in the top 10. Just about 26 seconds behind that top 10 actually, so maybe we can still make it happen in the last couple of stages. But in KOM, 18 points behind Nordhagen, I just don't believe that's possible anymore. That said, the green jersey might be possible though, same points as Jay Vine, so we just have to beat him. Anyway, top 10, green jersey, stage wins, lots of stuff still to go for. By the way, considering the injuries of Schwarzbacher and Kopetzky, I won't be riding the classics because I've got no riders for it. So yeah, time to quick sim. Tibor Del Grosso is the winner of the E3 Saxo Classic. On to the 5th stage of Catalunya, and it kinda reminds me of stage 1 a little bit. Roglic and Kjelmose are once again the favorites of a versatile sprint stage, and I reckon that Romeo should be able to compete here. Let's get ourselves some green jersey points. Just about 50 kilometers left in this stage, and Romeo is actually not looking that fantastic today. A -1 on the day, so that's a bit of a bummer. Nonetheless, we'll try our best. To be honest, I think the breakaway is gonna win today. Riccitello, Landa, Widar, these are strong riders with a gap of 2 minutes 45 with 28 kilometers to go as the final climb starts, so I think it's over for the peloton. Yeah, the peloton is now on top of the climb and the gap is still 2 minutes towards the breakaway. It's not my responsibility as Sirocco for endurance to close that down, so I'm just chilling. I probably should have been in the breakaway. Looks like Mikel Landa and Tijmen Arensman are the ones fighting for the stage, or actually the gap is now down to 1 minute 30 with 9 kilometers to go, and it's only 2 riders, so it's not completely over, is it? Oh snap, 5 kilometers to go, the gap is down to 1 minute, 55 seconds, 50 seconds. Perikas get to the front on 95, we gotta position Romeo because there might be an opportunity here. The break is right there, they're literally right there, so this is not completely over yet. Let's do 93, something like that. I should have been in the wheel of someone else, 99 with Perikas, 99, I will launch my sprint right now with Perikas. Romeo can do so as well. It's slightly downhill. Come on, Romeo. Come on, Romeo. Breakaway is getting caught. Landa still fighting, but Romeo on the right side of the road. It's gonna be Albanese or Pidcock? Albanese takes it, but bit of a disappointing finish. I thought we had a chance catching that breakaway, but 8th place only. But after the stage, the rankings basically stay the same. So 13th place for Romeo in GC and still 2nd place on 0 points of Vine in the points jersey. But the race is not over yet. By the way, I just realized something. The Volta Ciclista Catalunya is a sponsor objective for our team. I completely forgot about that. We have to win a stage which, so far, is somehow a partial success. A top 3 in a stage. I wouldn't classify that as a partial success to a victory, but hey, I'll take it. Like, we did come close to a victory on stage 1 and 2, but there's only 2 stages left now, so this won't be easy. I do think we have a chance on stage 6, which is basically a flat sprint, and somehow Javier Serrano is the 4th favorite. But by hunting the stage with Serrano, I'm basically cannibalizing potential points for the green jersey for Romeo, but I still think it's worth it. Because at the end of the day, a sponsor objective is simply more important. So yeah, let's win the stage. Ooh, 0 day on Serrano, so it didn't deserve the ooh I was ramping up, but we've got 73 sprint stat on the day, so I think we can work with that. There's only a single rider in the breakaway, which means that we should be able to get some points at the intermediate sprints from the peloton with the likes of Romeo, so let's try to do so. We just need a single point to get past Vine. What happens if I attack in the peloton with Romeo with about 7 kilometers to go towards a sprint? We get Higuita lining out some pacing, but we've got a gap, so let's try to keep it going. 2.5 kilometers to go, the gap is down to 20 seconds. Romeo is trying his best, but it's slightly uphill, so I think I might get caught here. I think I'm gonna get caught. Yeah, attacking was a mistake because Romeo is getting 0 points here as a consequence. The second sprint is coming up, downhill running, so I need to keep that in mind, but this time I'm sprinting for it, but I think I'll launch early knowing that there's a descent coming and the brake is about to get caught. There is my early launch. That might have been too early. Then again, corners and downhill. Corners and downhill. Can we take it? I think we might. I think we might. Corners and downhill. But now it straightens out. We've got some energy left. Pidcock on the right. Albanese on the right end. We get fat, so we get a single point. And we can see 17 points. We're in the lead. Take that, J Vine. But I'm not having that easy of a time to keep myself in position in these last 6 kilometers though. I'm having trouble to do so actually. Lopez is trying to get us to the front. Tercero in the wheel. Come on guys. Move up, move up, move up. Last 4.4 kilometers. Lopez out of the way. 3.5 kilometers to go. Should I just launch? I'll launch with Tercero. I'll launch with Tercero. We've got Romeo in the wheel. We'll launch right now at 2.3 kilometers to go. Serrano is in the wheel. And we can launch before this corner. There goes Serrano. There goes Serrano. But I'm out of energy. I'm out of energy. This is not going well. This is not going well. Serrano's not winning the stage. Vincenzo Albanese is. And we finished just about 7th, 6th. All that trouble for green jersey points, but because of the stage victory, Vincenzo Albanese is obviously taking that jersey away. So Romeo is now on 7 points. So yeah, there's only 1 stage left, a single opportunity, a single chance to get that green jersey and to get a stage win for our sponsor. But first, time to simulate Gent-Wevelgem in Flanders Fields, Mathieu van der Poel, Wout van Aert and so forth. Let's take a look. The winner is Jonathan Milan, surviving the Camelberg. Anyway, it's time. Stage 7 of Catalunya is a stage I've won quite a few times. The Barcelona stage with the Montjuic circuit. Schelmoze is the favorite, but I reckon I can win this. I really believe in that. But I think taking the green jersey, that will be near impossible. Ooh, -2 on Romeo, so that is not perfect, but it's not exactly negatively impacting his sprint stat or hill stat, so it's not a disaster. Serrano with a 0 day, so 72 sprint, 73 hill. Let's try and do this. The breakaway is once again a pretty strong group with the likes of Bernal and Arendsman both for Ineos, so 10 riders in total. 2 minutes on the peloton though, because Schelmoze and so forth really want to win. As always, I'm just chilling in the peloton, hands off. Entering the last 20 kilometers, so 3 Montjuic climbs left to come, and the breakaway still has 2 minutes on the peloton, so I'm starting to get worried again. It is Louis Mankies and Jarno Widar, so not the strongest breakaway either. 13 kilometers to go, the second last Montjuic climb is starting, and Tercero is trying to position our boys as well as possible. 1 minute to the breakaway, only 2 riders, so they are destined to get caught, but gotta keep myself up here. Come on, Tercero. Okay then, time for the final climb. 30 seconds is the gap to the break now. 2 riders, it's Widar and Mankies. Tercero on, let's do 97. I want to keep the tempo going on this climb and maybe try to attack with Romeo? Something like that? Is that possible? Pericas is ready to go 99 to the top, but an attack is not possible because others are doing it on the left side of the road. I'm going for a sprint. I'm going for Serrano, that is my plan. Pericas is doing the lead out. Romeo in the wheel is ready for the second last man activities. I think I'm gonna win this. I think Javier Serrano is gonna win this. There we go, 2.5 kilometers to go. Romeo is ready to launch his lead out as we speak right now. Serrano in the wheel is ready to launch pretty soon as well. Come on, 1 kilometer to go. There goes Serrano. There goes Serrano. Come on, Javier. Come on, Javier. This is your moment, Javier. No, no, no. Adria, come on. Another second place. That's my third second place in this race. And I needed a victory. Come on. Oh, that is so frustrating. That is so painful. I can't believe it. It was so close as well, but Roger Adria was better. It's simple. Javier Serrano does pretty well, to be honest, getting 2 second places in sprints in Catalunya, but I was hoping for that W. The winner of the race is Matthias Kjelmose, and look at 10th place. Ivan Romeo is back. We got a top 10 in GC. I'm actually really happy with that. Nonetheless, getting a second place in this race does mean that we don't secure our sponsor objective, which is quite sad. We had to get a stage victory, and in the end, it's a podium, so only a partial success. That also means we didn't get a single victory in today's episode, but we did come close a couple of times, so it was not an absolute disaster. If anything, the saddest part is that Ivan Romeo lost a time trial by a mere 2 seconds. But I do need to give you an update on something really important, the World Tour ranking. Basically, we need to be in the top 18 teams in the team ranking to be able to stay in World Tour next season. But I warned you at the end of last season that our team is not necessarily ready for World Tour, and we are starting to see that because we're not exactly in a very comfortable place. We need to be in the top 18, and at the moment we are sitting in 17th place with Sirocco for Endurance with a mere 70 points on P19, so we're definitely not safe. I am telling you, this is actually going to be a challenge this year, staying in World Tour. But hey, a challenge is what makes Pro Cycling Manager fun to play, so I'm not complaining. Next episode we'll take on Etruria Basque Country, starting off with a 7-kilometer prologue, so Ivan Romeo, get back to winning time trials. And also the Hill Classics and the Volta Asturias, an important race for our sponsor. But all of that is for next time. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye!